Konnichiwa minasan. Hey friends, how are you? Welcome to Saral Japani YouTube channel, a place where we talk about Japan, learn Japanese language and discuss Japanese culture. Today is lesson 68 of this series, Japanese for Beginners, and the topic for today is the ni particle. I wake up at 6. Friends, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so quickly so that whenever we upload new videos, you get notification and you can watch that video or that lesson. The URL is pretty simple, youtube.com/at saraljapani, that is SARALJAPANI. For the videos of all the previous lessons posted, that is all the previous 67 lessons plus this lesson 68, do visit the playlists section of this YouTube channel and click on the playlist Japanese Lessons for Beginners. And there you will find all these 68 lessons at one place. And if you are new to this channel, you can watch those 68 lessons in the serial order starting from 1. So let's begin today's lesson. Japanese lesson 68, particle ni. Watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu. I wake up at 6. Friends, this is our well-known table of particles in Japanese, and the green ones indicate we have discussed them in our previous lessons. And today we are going to discuss the particle ni. As you can see here, this entire row, ni, de, and a particle, all three of these represent movement in some way. All three particles indicates movement in some form or the other, but there are certain differences between the three. For example, ni indicates a destination, direction of movement, or location of existence. It is also used to indicate time of the verb. Now, de particle indicates location where an action is taking place or the means by which an action is completed. The a particle, it is, although it's the symbol of he sound, but it is pronounced as a. So a indicates a destination or the direction that something is heading to. It has a similar purpose to ni, but marks the direction of movement, while ni marks a destination itself. So friends, not to bother you too much surrounding these three particles, today our focus will be on the ni particle, but not in connection with the movement. That is, not with connection with to, but in connection with at, that is time. So we will discuss ni particle from time point of view. That is, we will learn how ni particle is used to indicate time of the verb or time of the action taking place. So let's move ahead with the ni particle. Ni particle is used with time when something is done at a specific or predefined time. Then this particle ni is often used after the time. So what does that mean? So this is a very simple sentence. Ima rokuji desu. That means it's 6 o'clock now. So this is something that we have learned earlier in this course when we discussed about time. We discussed about the hour G, we discussed about minutes pun or fun, and then we discussed the days of the week and like half past some hour when we say, like for example 6:30 is rokujihan. So all these we have studied, but we didn't form any sentence using verb except for this. So ima rokuji desu. This we studied earlier, which means it's 6 o'clock now. Ima means now. Rokuji is the 6th hour or 6 o'clock, and desu is the verb. So it's 6 o'clock now. Ima rokuji desu. Now, how do we use the particle ni in connection with time? For example, watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu. Now, if you went through last lesson, the lesson 67, where we discussed about the very common verbs, we had discussed about okimas as well, which means to wake up. Watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu means I wake up at 6 o'clock. I wake up at 6 o'clock. Now look at the difference between this first sentence, ima rokuji desu, and watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu. So ima rokuji desu was simply it's 6 o'clock now, and watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu is I wake up at 6 o'clock. And as I mentioned earlier in the last lesson, that in Japanese it may mean both present tense and future tense. So it can have the meaning I will wake up at 6 o'clock as well. So now you can notice here this ni particle is used after the time. Rokuji ni, that means at 6 o'clock. So in English, the preposition at appears before time, but in Japanese, particle ni appears after the time. So this is a very important observation. Watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu. Watashi means I. Rokuji ni at 6 o'clock. Okimasu, wake up. So I wake up at 6 o'clock. So here the time comes before the verb. I wake up at 6 o'clock. Watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu. So this is the very fundamental usage of this ni particle with respect to time. Ni is not used with below time expressions, as these do not indicate any specific or definite time. So what does that mean? For example, asa, which means morning. Ima is now. Kyo, ashita, asatte, kino, ototoi. So we have discussed or explained all these in previous lessons. So these are time expressions where there is no specific time mentioned, but in generic, for example, asa is morning. We don't know what exact time of the morning it is, but it is morning. Similarly, ashta, tomorrow, there is no specific time of tomorrow. It may be any time during tomorrow. So in this case, we do not use ni particle in this sentence. So if there is no specified time mentioned, for example, rokuji or rokujihan, if such kind of specific or exact time is not mentioned and it's only ashita or asatte or kyo, then we do not use ni particle with these time expressions. So these are called time expressions. So this is a very important thing to be noticed. Many new learners, they write ni along with these, thinking that these are also indicating time, so ni should be used. But no, ni is used only for specific time. So now let's look at two examples. Watashi wa 11 ni nemasu. Watashi wa 11 ni nemasu. So you can now deduce or translate what it means. Watashi wa means I. 11 means 11 o'clock. Ju ichi is 11. Ji is hour. So 11 o'clock. Ni nemasu. Nemasu, if you remember from the last lesson, it is to sleep. That means I sleep at 11 o'clock. So this is not 6, this is 11. Sorry for this error. So I sleep at 11 o'clock. Now the next example is ashita. Ashita deri e ikimasu. Ashita deri e ikimasu. So here after ashita there will not be any ni. So that why it has been it is striked out. So ashita ni deri e ikimasu is wrong. It is ashita deri e ikimasu. Now deri, do you know what is deri? Deri is Delhi. So I will go to Delhi tomorrow. Ashita deri e ikimasu. So I have given a very brief introduction of the particle a, but don't worry, we will discuss this in a later lesson in detail about this particle. So today we are just focusing on ni particle, and that too when it is used with time and not with movement. So ashita, just keep this in mind that after ashita, asatte, kyo, ima, there will not be any ni used for time to form the sentence. So ashita deri e ikimasu. I will go to Delhi tomorrow. Friends, many beginners of any language, depend on Google Translate for learning language. But believe me, that is not the correct place to translate, because many a times we have seen that the translation is not, I won't say the translation is wrong, but many a times it doesn't give the correct meaning, or sometimes it is inappropriate. Although the translation may be word by word translation may be correct, but the meaning changes. For example, the same sentence, I will go to Delhi tomorrow. If you translate it using Google Translate, you will get Ashita deri ni ikimasu. Now they have used ni particle, whereas we said Ashita deri e ikimasu. So now if you use the Google Translate, then you will get confused whether to use ni or to use a. So that's the reason why it is important not to study from Google Translate, but from textbooks, if not from any YouTube channel. But you should always refer to textbooks when you think of learning a or decide to learn a language. You should always read from textbook and not from Google Translate. Friends, we will form example sentences using the ni particle. But before that, I would like you to recap the basic verbs or the popular or common verbs that we studied in the last lesson, so that you can use these verbs in forming sentences along with the ni particle. So these are the verbs that we discussed last time. Nomimas, to drink; tabemas, to eat; kaimas, to buy or purchase; okimas, to wake up from sleep; nemas, to sleep; ikimas, to go somewhere; kairimas, to return to one's home, village, city or country; modorimas, to return after going somewhere from the same point; asobimas, to play; hashirimas, to run; yomimas, to read; benkyoshimas, to study. This benkyoshimas you will come across frequently in this course, and in every Japanese language book this benkyoshimas is very common because it indicates to study. Similarly, samposhimas means to walk. So these are the basic verbs which we will use to form example sentences using the ni particle. So let's move ahead with forming such sentences. So if you see here, you can see a lot of va particle and ni particle. And what will be the sentence structure? Subject va, time ni, verb. So this is the simplest structure of a Japanese sentence using ni particle when ni is used for time, to express time or to complete this sentence where some time has been mentioned and there is a verb involved. Subject wa time ni verb. So now let's look at some examples for practice. Watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu. Watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu. What does that mean? I wake up at 6 o'clock. Okimasu is to wake up. Watashi wa rokuji ni okimasu. I wake up at 6 o'clock. Tanaka-san, our favorite and our dearest Tanaka-san is now here. Tanaka-san wa 10時半に nemasu. Nemasu means to sleep, and 10時半 means 10:30. 10時半, if you remember or recall from our time, the lesson on time, you will you can recall that han is used for 10:30. So Tanaka-san sleeps at 10:30. So Tanaka-san wa 10時半に nemasu. This is Oto-san. Oto-san is father. We had studied this kanji in one of our kanji chapters, kanji lessons. So this is Oto-san or father, and informally you can also write chichi. So chichi wa 9時に tabemasu. Oto-san wa 9時に tabemasu means my father eats or takes his meal at 9 o'clock. Otosan or chichi wa kuji ni tabemasu. My father takes his meal at 9 o'clock. So here, if you want, you can write watashi no otosan as well or watashi no chichi as well. But it's not mandatory, it's not required. If it is written only otosan, it implies that it's the father of the speaker only. So, otosan wa kuji ni tabemasu. My father eats at 9 o'clock. Next is, so you might remember this is for mother. So this is okasan or haha. Okasan wa 8時に ikimasu. Ikimasu means to go, and 8時 means 8 o'clock, 8th hour or 8 a.m. in the morning. And this is okasan, you can replace it with haha as well. Okasan wa 8時に ikimasu. My mother leaves maybe for work at 8 o'clock in the morning. My mother goes at 8 o'clock. So haha wa 8時に ikimasu or okasan wa 8時に ikimasu. Ikimasu means to go. Next is otosan. Otosan, ototo. I'm sorry, this is ototo. Ototo means brother. Ototo means brother. Ototo wa 7時に benkyou shimasu. Means my brother studies at 7 o'clock. My brother studies or my brother will study at 7 o'clock. Ototo wa 7時に benkyou shimasu. Benkyou shimasu means to study. Likewise, tomodachi. Tomodachi, what is the meaning of tomodachi? Tomodachi means friend. Tomodachi wa 3時に 散歩 shimasu. Sanpo shimasu means goes for a walk, to go for a walk. So my friend goes for a walk at 3 o'clock. Tomodachi wa 3時に 散歩 shimasu. My friend, watashi no tomodachi wa 3時に 散歩 shimasu. So my friend goes for a walk at 3 o'clock. And the last one for today's practice is watashi wa 5時に kaerimasu. I will return back home at 5 o'clock or 5 p.m. So kaerimasu, I had explained in the last lesson that when to use kaerimasu. Kaerimasu means when someone returns to his own home or his own home place or native place, then kaerimasu is used. And in this way, it's not, ikimasu is not used. If we go to our home, then it is kaerimasu always. It's not ikimasu. So watashi wa 5時に kaerimasu. I return home or I go to my home at 5 o'clock. I will return home or I will go home at 5 o'clock. So in this way, the ni particle is used in such time related or time based sentences containing a definite verb. So I hope this is clear and it's very simple, and I have tried my best to keep it simple so that the basic concept is understood by the beginners. So friends, that's all for today. We have completed 68 chapters or 68 lessons, I would say, in this course so far. And this is the summary of the lesson. So if you are new to this channel, then do give a look at each of these lessons, and whichever you find necessary for you, you do watch the videos. And as I mentioned in the when I started this lesson, that you can go to the playlist Japanese lessons for beginners in this YouTube channel, where you will find all these 68 videos at one place in that playlist, and you can watch in the serial order or whichever video you would like to watch. So that's all for today, friends. Do subscribe to this channel if you are yet to do that, and we will meet you again in the next video that will come soon. Thank you so much. Arigato gozaimasu. Mata imashou.